Dr. Abdul Hakim Murad, the same question, but the problem what we are facing is that because of the mobile phone, the sort of information available on the mobile phone for young people, for children, is unprecedented in history. I mean, there's positive information, and of course there's a pornographic material which is available, and I feel that one of the reasons why we are suddenly having sex crimes, and not just women, I mean, I'm talking about children. So I feel that this is something which I think most societies are grappling with right now. Your views, Dr. Murad?
Recently, the school that I attended 40 years ago, which during my period as a schoolboy accepted girls for the first time, and during my 5 years there, I never saw or heard of any kind of impropriety or outraging of the girls, who were always treated with sort of respect. The traditional English gentleman, opened doors and was respectful for women and respected their public inviolability. Last year, the girls at the school went public with an outrageous story about how there were hundreds and possibly thousands of cases of harassment, exposure, teasing, outraging of various kinds. And this has become part of our culture wars now, unfortunately, because the liberals don't want to censor anything. But everybody knows that the key trigger has, as Your Excellency has pointed out, the availability, even to young children, of high resolution images of things that in the nature of things should be private and not made part of public entertainment. And particularly the adolescent mind, if it grows up recurrently addicted to such images, the neuroscientists have pointed out that this results in permanent damage. And so it's part of the global crisis at the moment, and the internet is something that is one of those globalizing phenomena that isn't really subject to the control of the nation state. Increasingly, the nation state is less powerful than it used to be. Something like Bitcoin, something like the internet, something like climate change. Many of the big issues today are things that have to be resolved globally rather than by individual states. How one deals with that? Well, we find again those individuals who come to Islam in England, who I work with, most of them are women. Many of them find the hijab, the traditional restraint, the understanding of strict boundaries between men and women, a kind of liberation. They don't like being in the law of the jungle and the world of vulnerability, abuse, sex crime, harassment, online dating. They want something that is more reasonable. So again, there is a catastrophe out there, but it's not the religions that have produced the catastrophe. It's another epiphenomenon of modernity. So to revert to your question to Sayyid Hossein Nasr, in order to attract the young people, we have to not just answer all of the questions that are coming from their modernity, but to point out that the crisis of modernity is ever continuing, ever escalating. Climate change is one aspect, catastrophe over views of gender and appropriate behavior between the genders. The Me Too movement in America is huge globally, not just in the Muslim world. To see Islam with its very balanced ideas of gender, sexuality, appropriate relationship, hijab, as actually an amazing solution, and a solution that many young people who are joining Islam now have found to be a solution, as being a very good way of holding their attention, treating Islam not just as a heritage of old-fashioned things that need somehow to be justified, but rather as a divinely authored medicine chest of remedies for the ever spiraling catastrophes of an out-of-control secular world.